gentlemen. I'm a disaster. I'm Caroline.
That's Caroline. I'm Phil, and I mustn't kick her. I pointed to the microphone. Caroline said, "Don't kick her." And I said, "We're on live."
Oh,
Which is a breakthrough.
It is. I didn't think
we
we
are
were going to make
hoping
it.
you can all hear us because
How are we doing for sound? Can you let us know if the sound is working okay your end, please?
yeah, because we had no sound. That's why everything's been chaos. It's why we had a very short run in tonight, and it's all been bonkers.
Yeah, so we've got no messages saying no sound, so that is positive.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go into saying why we've got these problems. You all know the problems I've been having, so I'm not going to bore you again. Oh, thanks, Ed. All good. Phyllis says all good. Yep, Glenda, all good. Oh, so you can hear us. That's wonderful.
I spoke to tech support Tim, and he said someone had disabled the microphone on the software level. I said, how can that happen? He said, sometimes there's shortcuts on the buttons and they get pressed. It was probably me picking up the laptop to carry it or something.
Could have been.
Because I've been using Caroline's laptop this week because I did the edit.
Oh yes, this is our new well, not our new editor, our temporary editor. Phil worked really hard this week to edit a video,
because
give me a week off. So
the week before I did a 20-minute video with one take.
Yes.
Which exhausted me. So this week I went for doing a mix and match, and I did the entire edit, and it wasn't too bad, is it?
It was okay. I was very impressed.
Admittedly, I cheated a little because using sections out of older videos, Caroline had pre-edited those, but I had to bring them all together and make it work. So that's what I did. But I may have pressed something on Caroline's laptop, and of course the first time Caroline's tried to use it with microphone since I used it was now.
I like that. You take,
so
you take full responsibility.
All the blame, because I know that's a safe position to take in this situation.
Very wise, very wise.
It's my fault, dear.
Right now we need to know who is in first, and I haven't got that on my computer, but I think Phil's got access to that on his computer.
Here we go. According to my computer,
which may not be true, but just bear with us.
First on here is Lisa Roberts.
Well done, Lisa.
Then John Coulahan.
Well done, John.
And then Rita Marlberg.
Well done, Rita. So you got the first 3 podium places tonight.
Yes, they were first, second and third in. Lisa, John and Rita.
Yes. And we've got a lot more podium places coming up with all the questions.
Oh, yes.
We've got some bits and pieces. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a
know
Christmas card. I do. Look
she
at that.
knows what she's doing.
Decisive. You're
thinking, due to the fact it's New Year tomorrow, you'd better get the last Christmas card show.
It's not New Year tomorrow. It's New Year's Eve tomorrow.
But it's when everybody celebrates, isn't it?
See?
I just think of the day when it's not the day we have off.
You can't get the day right.
We all have Monday off, but Sunday is New Year's Eve, and that's when the fireworks go off, and that's when everybody sings, "May old acquaintance be," etc., etc.
Not everybody.
Nearly everybody.
Lots of people.
Lots and lots of people in Scotland and beyond. And I'm sure my brother and his wife will be singing it somewhere down in Portugal.
Yep.
Not that we're jealous.
No, not at all.
Yeah, because my sister-in-law's hometown is Cooper in Fife. And this week they're in T-shirts in Portugal, where they're spending a few months. And her hometown, there was actually news they were rescuing people because of the floods. So I sent him a message and he said, yeah, I think we did well to be away at the moment, weather-wise.
Ed said, yeah, but it's New Year tomorrow in Australia. Good
well,
point. So Phil's just living in Australia in his mind.
Yeah, I'm there with some of our followers.
Yes.
Just not with all of them.
No.
Only those who live in Australia and possibly New Zealand.
Right, so as I was saying before, you rudely interrupted me to tell me you were surprised you knew what I was doing.
Sorry, dear. It's a Christmas card that arrived today.
Correct, and now I was going to surprise you by saying we had a Christmas card today.
We've got such a rapport, it's kismet.
It is.
I know what you're thinking, which is useful, because you don't.
I think Phil's had too much coffee. Right, I'm going to show you my Christmas card.
And chocolate.
And look at this.
And custard.
Look at that. That's the Christmas. You only had one Christmas card after Christmas this year. Quite often we get a couple because our postal service isn't brilliant. And I'll just give you a few little highlights from this card. It says, your travels and tales bring me such happiness. Your channel is such a bright spot in a sometimes drab and troubled week. Thank you for the smiles and the community. So that's everybody out there in your weekly live chat. Oh, no, thank you ever so much. And this is from Albreda Velde. It is on the names on here. I won't give you a real name in case you don't want your real name given. But if you look for Albreda, that's who this card is off. And she didn't actually print this herself, she said, but she's got press to do this. So I love that.
Very
I've
pretty.
never thought about doing a printing press type thing. And now you've got me thinking now. Ooh, I'd probably press my fingers. I'm useless. But it's lovely printed on your vintage windmill press.
And there we go, look. And I was just timed that well, look, because as I got confused with when New Year is, Linda turned up.
Oh, hello,
And it
Linda.
is New Year's Eve, because Linda said, sorry I missed the beginning. Hello, everyone. New Year's Eve year.
You didn't miss much.
See, we were in the same sort of zone there, me and Linda. So, Happy New Year, Linda, and everyone else in Australia.
Flower Girls in said, hi everyone, you two with some of us logging into a different link. Here we are now. It's my fault. Don't worry about it. Don't blame you two.
Because the sound didn't work, tech support Tim had to unplug everything and restart the software, which meant that the link we had started with zero sound got debunked.
John Coolahan said, we're in Maine enjoying the falling snow right now. I am jealous. I would love to have snow. We've got wind, we've got rain, we've got cold, but we've not got any snow.
It's even raining in the bathroom, yeah?
It is, yes. We've got a leak.
Yes, I was up on the roof of the conservatory yesterday in between showers. And, there's some news.
Oh, there's some news.
Yes,
You've got some news.
not me on the conservatory roof in between showers, but that's a rather dangerous thing to do. But when I filmed in the shed the previous occasion, if you remember, I mentioned the possibility of a tree landing on me during the filming.
You did.
Which it didn't. But eventually it was at 45 degrees and pressing against the fence and heading for the shed. But our lovely neighbour did call round and say they'd been trying to ring the tree surgeon all over the Christmas period and that he was on his way, and he came yesterday, was it?
Day before, I think.
Day before, in the
days
morning.
all roll into one. Between
Yeah.
Christmas and New Year, we just was all
Day before
concept
yesterday,
of
he
time.
turned up between 9 and 10 in the morning, took his chainsaw to it, and managed to get it to fall just the other side of the fence.
Yes.
So the danger to the shed is now past. And our view has been opened up
Oh,
considerably
it was wonderful now.
by the absence of a 30-foot conifer that has been growing steadily ever since we arrived here 20 years ago. So there we go, update on that. So the shed is no longer under threat. And I don't know if you look at the two videos, last week and the week before, through the shed window you may see a lurking large conifer at an angle out the window in the first one, and it's gone in the next.
It got to 45 degrees. I thought, if they don't get here soon, it'll be on the shed. But they got here in time.
I actually went down with a long piece of wood, using the fence as a fulcrum, because I learnt in science that if you have a long enough pole and the right position fulcrum, you can move anything. And I managed to lift the tree off the fence and slide a length of plank under it in the hope that if it started to move further, the weight would deflect it over. That was my theory. Fortunately, my ambitious plan for persuading this tree to slide the other way didn't need to be fulfilled.
No.
But you never know, it might have been very helpful to the tree
might
surgeon.
have.
Might have been. Still, we got it done.
We did.
Yes, and we're all lives to
Right.
tell the tale.
Ed said had horizontal rain here last night. Yep, us too. And Ian Upfall said, I'm in Australia. What snow? I feel like that sometimes. We're in Wales. I know what rain is. I can tell you all about rain.
Saying that though, on the odd occasions we get snow, we can have it pretty good. We've had some nice
Yes.
snowfall. Caroline loves it when the snow is sufficient that nobody can do anything. The roads grind to a halt. We walk down the middle of the roads because there is no traffic. That's the kind of snow you like, in there, where it's a foot deep on the road.
Yes, and then all the sound is muffled, and you feel like you're isolated on the top of a mountain with nobody can get to you. You can't get to anybody else, so you might as well just relax. And I do.
And everybody's garden looks the same.
Yep, no weeds on a snowy day.
There's no weeds on a snowy day. It's just snowy. Right, shall we?
Shall we?
Shall we?
Dance?
Shall we? We've had cards, we've had updates, we've
Let's
been
have-
wishing Happy New Year to people in Australia. Shall we have a question?
We will. Oh no, we still haven't got a question there. Right, what are you going to do about questions today? Oh, I tell you what, before we have the question.
Oh, the sombrero boy.
Now we got Sombrero Monkey, but there's also Sombrero Panky, because Monkey had put a sombrero on his Christmas list, But he'd also had a word with Santa and said, could he get Panky a sombrero on his behalf? So we now have a pair of sombreroed pandas. Now, you don't get to say that every day. So when people say to you, what were you watching on YouTube yesterday? You say, oh, sombreroed pandas. Bet they weren't.
Yep, there we
So,
go.
there you go. Which one do you think, if I turn them round, see, it's almost like a bullfighter's one, Manky's got.
It's
And
felt,
Panky's
isn't it?
is more,
Straw.
yeah, straw.
And I can tell you
Go on then.
that these were worn by poorer people,
Right.
and they were worn by more sophisticated and rich people because they cost a lot more.
No,
They
no,
made these-
Manky is sophisticated, so that would explain it, yep.
Yep, there we go.
And Panky's a good country girl. She loves nothing better than cooking, cleaning, and looking after people. She's the
there you
perfect
go.
hostess.
So that's why you have straw,
there
because
we are.
as you can tell, I've been doing my research. So be ready for a sombrero question tonight. There we go. Are you going to pop back up there? Are you ready to go back up? Right, or say goodbye to everybody. Bye-bye. Okie dokie.
Oh, Ed said there can be roads blocked around the Johnson HQ and yet not a single snowflake here in Cardiff. That's right. You tend to get less snow than us. It's milder by the sea though, isn't it? But we don't get as much as like the Brecon Beacons.
Right, I think it's going to be a Manky and Sombrero question time jingle. Do you
Yes,
think
I think so.
so? Hello, everyone. It's question time.
Flower Girl said Sombrero Pandas. Sounds like the name of the newest
There we go.
electronic music band.
Well,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
save all your sombrero knowledge for later because question 1 is about an item that has probably appeared in the shed at least as often, if not more often, than Manky himself. And it's not the famous find from Bedwellty Pits, but this question is about the substance used to conduct the repair.
Ooh, conduct the repair. We're getting technical.
When this was repaired, I used Gorilla Glue. And I want to ask you a question about Gorilla Glue.
How many gorillas does it take to make a pot of gorilla
Would
glue?
you believe if I told you that is not as outrageous as you may think? It is outrageous, but it is not outrageous enough to be unique.
Oh.
Because when I did my research about Gorilla Glue, the second question on that little list of questions that you can do a drop-down answer was, do they make Gorilla Glue out of gorillas? So it is intriguing the kind of things you come up with when you're
I have a very strange mind.
But what I want to know is about the origins of the glue, because the original Gorilla Glue formula, because now they've diversified and they make all manner of different types of super glues and mastics and different things. As a company, they've been going for, I think, less than 30 years, but they've certainly stolen the market.
Oh, it's everywhere around here
Yeah.
has got gorilla glue.
They make that super strong tape, everything, don't they? They have, because our Jerry used to use that, didn't he? But they call it gaffer tape. And they used to make that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the original Gorilla Glue formula was first discovered being used to make teak furniture.
Ooh.
So it was a compound being used by furniture manufacturers that this company took and developed as a commercial product.
No, so they didn't invent it, they stole it.
So the question is, in which country was this original formula being used to make teak furniture? Was it A, India, B, Indonesia, or C, Italy?
Go, don't worry about the words, just go, 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 go. We
Yes.
can't do the words at the moment.
We've still got technical problems on the chat, so Caroline's cry of go is sufficient for people to start sending in their replies. What are you thinking, folks? Do you think they were making the teak furniture in India? That would be A. Indonesia would be B. Or Italy, that would be C.
Right, I know what I'm going for. The
So-
one I thought was not that one.
So there we go. What are you thinking? Because, as I say, on the official website of Gorilla Glue, they say that the original formula was discovered being used to make teak furniture in this particular country. And I want to know, and lots of you are having a guess at this, having a go
Has
at
anybody
this.
got it right? I can see A's, B's and C's, so
Yeah,
somebody's
they're all
got it right.
in there, and there's
Oh, it's a relief.
definitely enough
More
correct.
B's than anything, I would say. Glenda's mom says C. Right. Ooh. What is it
Lots of
then?
possibilities. Right then. Well done on speed
That's not good, is it?
No. Well done, Phyllis, for being fast, but
Oh.
sadly it was not India. So you have got in first, but you haven't got the correct answer. Whereas Mike Sage got in second with the correct answer.
Oh, well done, Mike.
So Mike takes gold podium for B, Indonesia. Followed immediately by Glenda Weiss, who also has gone B
Well
for
done, Glenda.
Indonesia. And then we've got an A, a C, an A, and then Rachel Ramey with
Well done,
B.
Rachel. I thought it's not
And-
Indonesia because they have different types of wood over there. I didn't think they were so tiki.
See, now then.
They
now
are
they obviously
Not
they...
tiki, but
No,
to have
obviously they have teak because they work. At least they assemble teak furniture
Well, what
there.
do I know?
Whether they
They obviously
import
do
the
grow
wood,
teak then.
I don't know. But I will give a special mention to Anne Goodwin and Linda Peterson because when Rachel came in as the 7th answer but on the 3rd podium, they were directly behind her with the correct answer.
Well done.
So there we go. So it is gold for Mike, it is silver for Glenda, and Rachel takes the bronze.
Well done, and I have to break it to you, Ed. It wasn't G for Gorilla Glue. And Phyllis said I can only be one. I can't read that word. It's underneath the heart. What does it say?
That's I've got the same problem. Yeah,
Yeah, the heart is in the way. Oh, just
I can only be one thing at a time.
Very good, Phyllis. I don't
She
know
can't be
yours is the
fast
same.
enough.
If you're on the last comment, you can't see it because the little heart thing is in the way.
Well, you were two things. You were fast and first, but you were not
Yes.
correct. So that's 2 out of 3. That's not bad. That's not bad. I know my super glue. Lost my fingerprints. Yeah, it's such because I joked. It's funny seeing some of this footage so long after because that was early in COVID that I did that reassembly, and I joked on there about hoping my hands would come away because it's so easy just to get the tiniest bit without realizing it on your finger, and as you're working, as long as you don't come into contact. But if it stays there for a little while and then you make contact, suddenly you're stuck.
Now, am I right? I heard that if you use acetone, for example, nail varnish remover, it'll take super glue away. Does anybody know if I'm right there?
I've heard something to that effect. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. There we go.
Oh, Talon said I knew this because I do a lot of research on useless topics during my
Free
time.
Pretty slow though.
One day you might need those. Well, we ask useless topics sometimes, so you could win. Could get a gold medal.
Yeah. And I can assure you, Talon, being low down the numbers doesn't necessarily that you won't get a podium place. Because we have had probably half a dozen occasions, and 3 of them in the last month, where there were only 3 correct answers, and we've had one occasion when out of
I think
about
it was 2 we've had.
20 answers, only 2 were correct. There wasn't a
No,
podium place.
we have had times. That's right. It was the. No, I don't know. Ignore me. We have had times when something didn't come through, and I can't remember
Yeah.
what it is now.
But we've definitely had times when the
Aha.
last person to answer was correct.
Bonnie Tyler fan, yes, acetone works to remove it from the skin. So there we go. Next time you think you're going to lose your fingernails, don't cut it off, because some people used to use a blade, didn't they? But no, apparently you could rub it with acetone.
I've got one destroyed fingerprint there, but that was from when I was a kid.
He was a naughty boy.
I was a kid and I had matches in my pocket, and I was stood there with matches in my pocket, 2 loose matches, and I was fiddling with the matches and they set alight in my pocket. So I held them like that, and I ended up with a burn mark on my finger.
Which is better than setting your trousers on fire.
Yeah. And it's also better than my mum realising I had matches in my pocket because she'd have hit me. But then I wouldn't have had a hole in my finger
No.
and lost my fingerprint on one spot. So I've got a very, very unique... My unique fingerprint has become even more unique. But I did that about 50 years ago when I was a naughty boy. I'm not a naughty boy anymore. I'm a naughty man.
Right there, let's
there.
move on. Let's
Right,
move on because
right,
it's nearly
right.
half past.
Shall we have Happy Mail?
Let's have Happy Mail.
Have we got a thingy?
We have.
Now this Happy Mail is already open
Yes,
because
yeah.
these were Christmas gifts. Because if you remember, we had that beautiful bauble sent to us by Rachel that she'd done with the beadwork. which we posted a picture on the Facebook group of the bauble on the tree. But Rachel said that we could open these two for Christmas Day. So Caroline will show you this lovely work now.
Look how detailed that is, and they actually spin. I did see it, and you can move them on their little axle. Oh, I don't suppose it's a little axle of thread or whatever they use. Isn't that fabulous? There's a bracelet. You can see there's a little catch there. So that's a bracelet made of loads and loads, gazillions of little tiny, tiny beads. Look at that. And that's not all. We got these flowers as well. Look at this. I hold them up to the camera there. You can see all the little stamens inside on that one. And there's this one, which has got more stamens. And bring it in close, you can see it. Look at that. And they're wonderful. So Rachel, I really don't know how you make these. I could never get the detailing on those. I could never find the little holes to put anything through on them. They're amazing. So thank you ever so much, Rachel. So they're that and the bracelet. Beautiful Christmas presents. Very skilled and talented. I love them. They're wonderful. So thank you very much, and what a lovely Happy Mail.
Indeed. And welcome to Lexi, who has returned from the great darkness of the Shire. We had a power cut just as the show was about to start.
Oh, right, you didn't miss
there
much.
We go. No, it was mayhem here as well.
Get going.
We had no sound and we had to start late and goodness knows what. So it's all been happening everywhere. And Tan was also saying they don't mind not being first. They enjoy the fun of joining in. And the other thing you could do, Tan, which a lot of folks do, is keep count for themselves and just see how many they get out of the 5 or 6 questions in the night and compete against themselves, because obviously the internet is a wonderful invention, but it can be a bit discriminating when it comes to how quickly answers come through.
Yes.
So we just have to go with us on the list. But and also, you're quite right. Whatever knowledge you have, you never know when it'll come in handy.
No.
As Chris Tarrant used to say on the show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? All the questions are easy, as long as you know the answer.
Yeah, this is true.
And it's right, because people... I was reading an article, somebody won, I think it was £500,000 on a quiz with Anton Deck.
Right.
And it was the 23rd question, and they asked in what year was, I think it was Amazon company founded. Mm. And it just happened to be that it was founded the same year as this gentleman's sister was born. And because of that, it meant instead of losing, they won, and they won £500,000. Just because he knew that fact. So in all knowledge has its uses, you just never know when it's going to come in handy.
It's true. Is it like with computers? And I'm not going to bring up my computer, but if you're stuck and you really can't figure out, all you need to do is press one little button, just one click, and you're there. It's just knowing what to click. That's what stumps me.
There we go. Dan said, words I live by, ironically. And Lexi said, the internet is useless without electricity.
This is true.
Yes, need a wind-up laptop.
A little. They do them now, don't they? These, what do you call them? You walk on treadmill laptops, and you've got to keep walking, otherwise your laptop runs out of electricity.
There you go. Put it on the list for Santa for next year in case you have a power cut.
Yeah. A treadmill. Right then, so let's have another question now. We need to move these questions on a little bit.
Oh, well, all right. I don't mind.
No, we haven't got a jingle.
So... No. Who's going to go this time?
Santa Deck. Let's have
Santa Deck.
Santa Deck before he goes away till next year.
Santa Deck, coming in. It's question time. Quack, quack.
Oh, that was very professional.
I tell you, I think I'll go into this professionally.
I think you should.
I think I'll get a job on radio.
Oh, on Fiverr. Think how much money you'd make. Everybody would come to you for jingles.
I tell you, just because of my original ideas.
Yep.
Anyway, let's do the question before we get too carried away. Okay. This particular find is linked to a botanical brewer. Now, there were a fair few brewers around back in the early 1900s. In 1980, Across the UK, there were only 142 breweries. That number is on the increase, thanks to these small craft...
Hold tight.
Where's he doing now? Oh, we're on the move. That number is on the increase due to small craft brewing enterprises. But they'll never be anywhere near, I wouldn't imagine, as the thousands that were operating in the UK in 1900. My question is, the world's moving here. Behave, will it? Nobody notices except you, I'm sure.
Nuts.
You're the only
Oh,
person
look at
that
that, it's
notices.
virtually right.
There we are then. We're now virtually right, which is a bold statement in this house. How many thousand breweries were operating in the UK in 1900? Was it A, 2,500, B, 4,500, or C, 6,500?
Go!
So there we
Hello
go.
there, Mudlarking with Steve. Happy Christmas to you too.
Hello, hello, hello.
Right. Oh, what is it? Ed was saying? No, Dorothy said, toys used to be more real. I had a plug-in iron and accidentally put my finger between the tines and my father had to unplug me.
Oh dear.
Ooh, they were, well, there wasn't so much health and safety when we were younger.
No, there wasn't any, I don't think, really. I think it was pretty much... we watched some of the old adverts earlier on.
Oh,
some
I
old
thought the
adverts come on YouTube.
1950s when they...
And, you know, seeing the adverts for saying how healthy, high sugar cereals
Oh,
are for you
yes.
because they give children energy and,
Like, I
and
don't
how
think
all
so.
you need to get you through the day is this particular brand of cigarettes. And I thought, yeah, the world has moved on. We've learned a lot over the last 60 years. But how have we changed with regards to breweries? 142 in the UK in 1980. That number is increasing now. But are we looking in 1900 at 2,500? I say 4,500 is B, 6,500 is C. Let's have a look
Right,
what
we've got the
we've
answers
got.
in.
Ooh, we've got lots and lots of answers in. Ooh.
Yes, Lexi, I suppose it was a bit like we had an earthquake, but it was just me fiddling. I spent ages before I start the show, and I can never get it to line up. My tripod... Well, I'm thinking it can't be my tripod. I'm thinking it must be the floor because I turn it's obviously a tripod's got 3 legs, and even if I put different legs on different areas, it's still wonky. So I think we've got a dip in the floor.
That's the theory, or the house is on the move.
Could be.
Well, folks, we've got your answers in, and yet again, the first person in didn't manage to get the correct answer because Glenda was first in but went with B, and it's the second answer in that's got the gold position, and this time it's Mike Sage again.
Oh, well done, Mike.
He's playing cool, coming in second, but getting it right.
Excellent.
Because he went with 6,500. 6,500 breweries operating. And 100 years later, there was just over 140. Amazing, isn't it? Well, it wasn't even that far. It was 80 years later. Big change, big change. Of course, a lot of it had gone on to an industrialised scale. There was a lot more international movement, a lot of stuff being brought in from other places. So things did change. The world changed.
And like Ian Upfold said, you couldn't drink the water, so you had to drink beer to make sure you were drinking clean items. So
Absolutely.
drinks.
And also, your breweries, like the Bryn Mawr Botanical Brewery was up the road there would have been small-scale breweries all over the place, providing for a handful of local pubs and making their living. Whereas now, the juggernauts are travelling all over the country, delivering to massive numbers of public houses, all owned by the same brewer, sort of thing, you know. So it has changed a lot. But it was Mike Sage got 6,500 first, Rachel Bailey got it second,
done, Rachel.
Dan Fetters was third.
Well done, Dan.
So Mike, you're gold, Rachel is silver, and Dan is bronze. There we go.
Well done.
3 answers.
Oh,
Correct.
D. Dorothy Papigno is like me. She wanted a chemistry set, but Mom was afraid I'd blow up the house. Yeah, my mother didn't trust me with a chemistry set either. I'd have loved one.
I shared a picture with my mum today, a lovely picture. My mum sent a gift to a charity in Romania where a gentleman from this part of the world works with children who have been affected by the HIV virus. And there was a little boy out there who had lost both his mum and dad to HIV. He's being brought up by his grandmother, and his one wish for Christmas was a chemistry set. And they sent the photograph of the little boy holding the sack with the chemistry set in that the charity had bought with the gift my mum had given. And my mum was over the moon because they said that the grandmother knew there was no way she could get him what he wanted. So there's one little lad did get his chemistry set this year, which is brilliant.
Dangerous toys. Flower Girl in Ward 17 said, I was showing my daughter a childhood Christmas photo and my daughter honed in on the tether ball. If we were mad at a sibling, we could take it to the tether ball and aim real good. I've never heard of a tether ball. Has anybody else had a tether ball? Were they popular elsewhere in other countries, or is it just I hadn't heard?
It's not like swing ball, is it?
Is it? I don't know. Tether ball. We had
swing
ball, yeah,
which was like a spring.
Yeah, a tennis ball on a pole.
On the end of a rope, and you hit it, and it swung round that way, and you hit it, and it swung back round that way. Is it that? Because that would be a ball that's tethered. It may be because very often they have different terms for things.
Let us know if that's what tether ball is.
You know, some people say marathon, other people say Snickers.
Yeah.
Some people say pants, other people say trousers. It's a confusing
word. It can get very awkward, be confusing, yes.
Tomato and tomato. Yeah. That's quite complex. It could be, that's the only thing I can think of that would be a ball that was tethered. Yeah. That's my theory.
Tennis ball on a stake. Yeah, Ed's saying that's what it is. So, there we go. Is tether ball an American thing? They were everywhere when I was a kid, said Rachel Raimi. A tether ball was a volleyball attached to a rope, attached to a pole. Volleyball. Volleyball I thought was bigger than a tennis ball. Isn't volleyball where they sort of do this and hit it over the net?
So did they have it for kicking?
It was a bigger one. Right.
Was it kicking in? It was on elastic and you could kick it and it come back to you.
Is that what you hit with a tennis racket? Did you kick
Did they have a kick-in version? Maybe.
This is very difficult, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, Rachel Remy said, I was born post giving coal to children is fine. Yeah, they still have candy coal, don't they, in Spain? I remember that. You get little bags of coal.
Yeah. P. Mitch had tether ball. Phyllis said it was a volleyball, as Flower Girl said. Right, it was a bigger ball then.
There we go.
Ours are about this big. Well, tennis balls.
Yeah. Shall we do some happy news?
Let's do some happy news.
We've got newsflash, that'll do.
Make do with the newsflash again.
Go with yours.
What's this one?
Yes, just here.
There you go. I think that goes on forever, so I always cut it short. Right then, today's happy news is, why would you eat a 21-year-old mince pie?
I don't know. Why would you eat it? It's like last week's show all over again.
I shall tell you.
I bet it's not an answer with fitting a cracker, is it?
No, it's a big one. Richard Newson discovered a batch of 47 mince pies in the bottom of his mum's freezer following her passing in December 2002. Now, every Christmas he defrosts one of the small pies and scoffs it down in memory of his mum Marlene, who used to bake hundreds of festive treats and dish them out for no other reason other than to spread Christmas cheer. Richard lamented that this year's did taste like a 21-year-old mince pie, but he dug in anyway. The pastry is still great, short and crumbly, but the mincemeat did have a funny taste this year, but it wasn't too bad. Oh, goodness help him next year. Richard allows the pies to defrost naturally and then warms them slightly before the main event. It had become a family tradition and heralds the start of their family Christmas. In the early days, the family joined in, but now it's only Richard who dares eat one. And he plans to keep up the tradition until they're gone or he dies. I made that bit up. Richard said, Mum absolutely loved Christmas and we do too. She's passed on, but I think she would be telling me off for still eating them now. Probably, yes. Well, I really do understand the sentiment though. I think it's a lovely sentiment and it must be lovely to still a little bit of home baking from your mum all these years later, but probably is a little bit dodgy on the health and safety front.
Now, shall I share my happy news?
Go on then.
Because my happy news is on a similar theme, except unlike Richard, who discovered the pies, the mince pies in the bottom of the freezer, and it wasn't his mum's intention that he should eat them over the next 30-odd years, up to which he has already ate them for 21. This is all about a nice neighbour's special Christmas gifts. And this took place here in Wales. A 7-year-old is preparing to open the most recent of 14 years worth of Christmas gifts pre-bought by her elderly neighbour before he passed away with cancer. Caddy is looking forward to opening her 6th mystery present from Ken Watson, who was 87 when he passed away 5 years ago. After the funeral, Ken's family was surprised to find a sack full of 14 wrapped presents for their wee girl, who was only 2 at the time. Caddy's parents were knocked off their feet by the thoughtfulness which he had kept a secret from everyone. Thus began the tradition of Caddy opening her Ken gift every Christmas Eve when the family brings it down from the attic, and so far she's unwrapped toys, books and games. It was magical and heartwarming, said her father, Owen. We tell Caddy about Ken. She doesn't really remember him, but you can always keep someone's memory alive by telling the stories. What's sweet is seeing my daughter's development as well. She's gone from being a toddler when she started, and now she's 7. It's like a record of her growing up. Ken was just one of those people that others adored, says Owen. He was like Father Christmas. He didn't have grandchildren and missed his wife, who had passed away 10 years prior to our family moving next door. For her first birthday, Ken gave Caddy a huge cuddly lion called Elvis. He then went to buy the same for every child in the street at £20 per lion. He never intended that everyone would know where they came from. It was only that when Owen mentioned to the lady in the toy shop that his daughter had exactly the same bear, she said, "Was it off Ken?" And when he said yes, she said, "I know, he bought them for the whole street."
Oh.
Owen, who works in social media, uses hashtag #BeMoreKen in his annual Twitter post revealing Caddy's gift, encouraging others to be kind and to get to know their neighbours. At the time of this posting, they had just brought the present down. So there we go.
That's amazing. I tell you what would be interesting, if you could, supposing now, 20 years ago, if we take ourselves back 20 years, and you decided to buy a present for somebody every year for the next 20 years then, they now have something which is retro and probably worth an absolute fortune.
Yeah, imagine getting the latest Barbie item that was out in 2000 and now you get it now.
Yeah.
You know, you stick it on eBay and it'd be worth 10 times as much. It's a crazy world. Because one of the adverts we watched was a Barbie advert from the 1950s when they said, bring your Barbie to the store, give it to the store man, and $1.50 and he'll give you the brand new redesigned Barbie.
With a twisting waist, I think she had, didn't she?
Yeah. Which, like I said to Caroline, no wonder the Barbies prior to that point are as rare as they are and as valuable, because the store was probably then destroying them. So loads of them disappeared from the market because you could trade them in. Because Barbies at that point were $3 a piece, but you could get it half price if you traded in an old Barbie for the new model. Because they wanted to push this new look. And of course, a lot of people tend to think, I want to stay with my old one. And then they go, you can have the new one half price. And they go, oh, go on then. So
one of the adverts I thought was really funny. They were advertising some brand of ice cream. And they said, kids, get your mothers to buy, be sure to get your mum to buy the half-gallon container so that you can have lots and lots of this ice cream. So talk about pester power. They weren't even trying to hide it in the 50s. They were saying, go and pester your parents. Tell them to buy the big tub.
Shall we have another question?
We shall, yes. So,
right, so who's doing it this time?
Well, I've got a half duck here.
Oh, lovely duck.
It's question time.
Right then, folks. This time, I can't show you the item because, as you all know, we gave it away. But the Esso brand bottle that we had on the video, that branding is the brand name for Standard Oil. Because they took the letters S and O and made Esso but they put ESSO, Standard Oil. A company which made its founder one of the world's first billionaires. What was that founder's name? Was it A, Andrew Carnegie, B, John D. Rockefeller, or C, Henry Ford?
Go, 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 go!
What do you think? Now, they are all very rich folks from that time and era. They all did rather well for themselves, shall we say? And their families are doing jolly well ever since. But which of them founded Standard Oil, which had the brand name Esso, which was on the bottle that we found in the path?
Right, while Phil's doing that, I'm just going to read this message off Rachel Ramey. Anyone remember Soupy Sales? He had a TV show and asked his audience to go into Mom's purse and send him the money, and they did. That's very naughty, isn't it? It's amazing what used to go on, and people just got away with it. But it's much stricter now, which I think is a good thing.
Indeed.
People discussing those metal slides, they did get hot, didn't they? When we first had a slide in our park, because we were very behind, but we finally got one in when I was about 14. So what's that? 78. And the night before, they'd finished work, but they hadn't put the steps up yet. So all the children were climbing up the poles like as if they were sort of scaling poles. There were people walking up the front. It was complete disarray there because everybody wanted to try it out.
Yeah, because there wasn't a lot of health and safety in the parks either, was there really?
We had an old steamroller, and it was an old steamroller. They just painted it red, yellow and blue, and you could turn the handle, but there was like a gear on the end of the handle at an angle. And if some child put their hand in there while you were turning this, they would munch their hand up. It was really dangerous.
And I remember we used to climb up the steps of the slide, and instead of sliding down, we would then climb up the outside of the wooden frame that they put over it to stop you falling off, and we'd sit on top of that. So we used to sit on top of the actual barrier that was built to stop you climbing. We'd climb on it. Yeah, we had some crazy things to play with when we were kids. Okay, right then, folks, the correct answer is J.D. Rockefeller, which means that this time Mike Sage has managed to do what Phyllis cannot do.
What's that?
First and right.
Well done, Mike.
Because he's taken the third goal in a row.
I think Phyllis has been right once on the first... at least once I remember.
Yeah, but on this time she said herself, I can't do both.
Yeah.
Well, Mike's gone and done it because he's gone first and right because he's gone B. So Mike, you got gold. Then Glenda, you got B. So you've got silver. And it's John Coulihan again. It's got B. So you've got bronze. So it's Mike, Glenda and John.
Mike, Glenda and John, well done.
Yeah, there are 3 podium positions, and I would say that B was not necessarily the most popular answer this time.
So.
I think fairly even split, and maybe A or C took the lead.
I think A took the lead.
Yeah, so there we go. It was Mr. Rockefeller. He became one of the world's first billionaires when being a billionaire was really something. It's something now.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'd tolerate it, you know.
But there's a few more of them around now. But back then, the value of money then to now, it's
like a millionaire lifestyle.
Crazy.
About 20 years ago, I think it was, they said to live the millionaire's lifestyle, you needed £3.5 million because prices have gone up. So what we see as a millionaire's lifestyle doesn't happen at £1 million anymore.
No, it's still nice. It's all nice.
Oh, I could handle £1 million.
Being a millionaire now, well, virtually anyone who owns a house in London and the Greater London area is a millionaire by default. Because there's not many houses for less than £1 million in London anyway. So just being a house owner in London, probably half the house owners then in London have got property worth more than £1 million.
Depends which bit of London, but obviously near the centre. And the Golden Mile, forget it. You can't afford a paving stone for that. Well, it's not that bad, but it's very expensive.
You're not going to be far off nowadays because the property values have gone so crazy. But when you think, my mum bought her first house for £500. And that house would now cost you over £100,000.
I think they're probably about 150, 160 now.
For a terraced house on the hill?
I think so.
That's
They're at
crazy.
least 140.
That's crazy because even my eldest bought one up there, 20 years ago, and only paid about 30,000. It's crazy what's happening to the world. Yeah, but still, we're all looking forward to another exciting year. Hope everyone else out there is. I know our friends from Australia are going to get there first, but this is our last show for 2023, which I never thought I'd be saying because when we started the live show, we were going to do it for the 6-week lockdown at the beginning of 2020. So 3.5 years later, we're still going. So that's strange in itself. But it is good to be here with you tonight. It's good to be able to wish you all well. Thank you for all the lovely comments. I haven't been able to answer all of them, but thank you for all the lovely comments from folks about the video we did. And thank you for the comments tonight about my editing. And thank you for the encouragement from those who enjoyed the little sort of bits I put in between talking about what's really valuable in life, because sometimes we just need to remember, don't we, because we can get so bogged down with the things that are happening around us or the things that are not happening for us, and we can lose sight of the precious things that mean a lot. And it's good to be just reminded of that, and it's good to encourage each other. And I know some people haven't been very well, and over the Christmas period, some people have had ill health. So it's lovely to see you with us tonight, and we wish you all a very healthy time for the new year.
Yes,
as well.
healthy and happy.
Yes, indeed. Shall we do the sombrero question?
Let's do the sombrero question. Oh,
We're
come
going
on.
to have to get
Got it, Monkey.
Monkey's going to do his
I
sombrero.
don't think what would be a sombrero song?
Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
What?
Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. It's question time.
There you go.
There we go. I tell you, it's lucky you've got your own personal
It is. I
ditty
had no
right
idea
there.
then. What song would go with the sombrero?
No, that probably doesn't, but he got away with it. Right then, sombrero question. The sombrero takes its name from the Spanish word sombra, meaning shade. And it certainly lives up to its name with brims up to 2 foot. But in which century did this particular headgear first appear? Was it A, the 15th century, B, the 17th century, or C, the 19th century?
Go, go, go!
What do you think, folks? What do you think? They believe it's all started with cowboys in mid-Mexico, wearing them to keep the heat of the day off them when they were driving the herds. But it's interesting to wonder just how long back do they have an account of the appearance of a sombrero.
Right, Linda said, I resolve to be on time more often in 2024. Oh, there we go. So we've got our first New Year's resolution. Is anybody else making New Year's resolutions this year? Let's see if anybody else is. So far, Linda's the only one who's been brave enough to tell us her New Year's resolution, not revolution. So let's see if anybody else has got some New Year's I've got it in my head now. New Year's resolutions. Have you got any New Year's resolutions?
Not yet.
No?
I'm still thinking about it.
You'll probably come up with one about July, is it?
No, I'll come up with one by the right time, whenever that is, the day tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, really.
I will come up with one. Probably to lose my weight I put on over Christmas.
I think we both need to do that.
After a £9 over Christmas.
Oh, Flower Girl in Ward 17 said, I resolve to get more garden craft sewing projects finished this year.
Oh.
There we go. There's another one. Another person brave enough. Anybody else brave enough? I can't think. I haven't really thought about it. I generally don't make them too major because I never do them anyway. So I think, well, I don't want to sort of feel a failure. I'd rather make them small. That way then I don't fail in a big way. I fail in a small way.
Right then. Let's check out who has got the sombrero question right. Well, I can tell you that the first 4 answers are correct.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, because it was the 15th century. I was surprised by that. I was genuinely surprised.
Were you? Did you go,
I didn't think the 1400s would have been when they were around. I was thinking more the 17th century. There you go. So, the first 4 were right. And the first one of those 4 is Glenda.
Well done, Glenda.
Second is Rachel Bailey.
Well done, Rachel.
And taking a bronze on this occasion is Mr. Mike Sage.
Well done, Mike.
Who pipped
Pipped.
Mr. Ed Creative.
Oh, nearly there, Ed.
Yes, so there we go. It's Glenda, Rachel and Mike take the podium positions. So Mike, you've managed to get on the podium every time, I think, tonight so far. You're on fire, my boy. You're on fire.
Right then. Christina's resolution is to try not to eat so much sugar. And that's a big thing at the moment. Everybody's saying to yourself how unhealthy sugar is for us. It's a very good one. And Flower Girl in Ward 17 says already started her resolutions with take rooting geranium cuttings. Well done. Talon said, guess mine will be to adventure more. Very good. Ed's come up with, and I just thought of a New Year's resolution. To remember what resolution I thought of. That would be helpful. And Mike did say, I must confess, I just guessed.
There we go. Well,
This is what I usually do.
that's all it takes. If you don't know, that's why we went down to the ABC. 2 reasons. One, it gives everybody a 1 in 3 chance if you want to take a random guess. And 2, some people, when we did the quiz and you had to type the answer, some people had difficulty with the typing because of arthritis and other things. So we thought, well, if it's 1 letter and enter, it's not so bad.
No.
So guessing is all right. There's nothing wrong with guessing as long as you guess right.
It doesn't matter if you guess wrong, I'm usually wrong.
No. Right then. I think we're just about done. So we've come to our... We haven't got anything that we're supposed to open. Nothing we're supposed to show.
I think we've done all the gifts that I can see. I usually put everything where I need to see it. We're just on our last question now. We might actually be on time.
So this is going to be a very dangerous question to ask tonight.
Right.
Because I've got to be honest, I have had to watch the video numerous times in order to come up with an answer. And I know a few people lost count during the premiere, but I'm going to ask it anyway, and I'm going to give you 3 options, and if your option's not there, you can take a choice. You can go with yours, or you can go with the nearest one that's on the board.
Yeah.
How many times did you see Mankey in this week's video? Do you think it was A, 12, B, 16, or C, 20?
Go, and sorry if you don't hear the go until well after the answers come in. That's the beauty of the internet. It's all over the shop. Oh, thank you, Mike. Lisa and I wish everyone a happy new year and a happy new year to you and Lisa too. Right, and Ed lost count. There were so many monkeys. And I did see another. There we go. Rachel Ramey said, my New Year's resolution is to make more of my daydreams a reality, especially crafting and travel. Good on you. And I love travel, so I'm definitely with you there. Right, so do we have a winner?
Well, it gets very complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets very complicated.
No, it usually does.
Yeah, because I hate to dispute with people who have had the courage of their convictions to go with the number they believe to be right. And there are people who've gone with numbers that are slightly different to those on the answer. If we go with the answer that I gave, then gold podium goes to Ian Upfold.
Well done, Ian.
Then silver goes to Christina Mizaki.
Well done, Christina.
And bronze goes to Rachel Bailey.
Well done, Rachel Bailey.
Because I counted it as 16. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call out the 16 I've got. And if somebody out there who went 17 or 18 wishes to tell me the one they think I've missed, then I can at least give you an apology if I don't give you a podium. In the shed, twice. He came on, and then he came back on again. Then you add in when we found him on the dump. I counted that as once. In my pocket at Pierrefonds Castle, when I was wearing the check shirt, then there were 5 images of him at different points, 4 climbing on the castle and 1 coming under the door. Then he was in the puddle, then he was on the JCB, then he was on the hitch of the caravan, then outside the caravan on holidays, then dancing in the dark in Bernie Riviere, then in my inside pocket at the end, and dancing to the crazy music after we'd said goodbye.
On the outro.
So
Not on the exit.
they were the 16 that I had, and that took me some time to count. So without our friends who usually name and count every single one, which would have never fitted in the chat anyway, you're only allowed 200 digits. We can't be sure. And so we're going to have to agree to differ on the numbers. Feel free to leave a comment over on the Facebook page if you found one that I missed.
Yes, a screenshot would be good if you've
Yeah,
seen one
let
that
me
Phil's
know,
missed.
because I have been caught out before now.
And I was going to say something else about it and I forgot. It does actually. Who's
I
gone?
think we've covered everything. I trust you've all had a wonderful Christmas, and we wish you the happiest of New Year's.
Yes, have a wonderful, even if you're having a party or a celebration, lovely if you're having a peaceful New Year, and even if you go to bed like I do sometimes, then still hope next year is wonderful, happy, peaceful, healthy, and anything else you want to throw in on top of that.
And always remember, being up at midnight on the 31st is not as important as waking up on the 1st, because that's when it all starts.
That's right.
Because you're only going to bed after the party, but when you get up, that's your first day of a new year and a good opportunity to take a new direction if you so desire.
Yep, great time for a fresh start.
It is indeed. Okay, well, I think that's it.
Yeah.
We've made it through another year. We've made it through another hour. It wouldn't be the same without you. If you can give us a like, that would be lovely. Down on the bottom there, just punch the old thumbs up. That would be fantastic. And until the next time,
Have fun.
bye.